trying to mend your condition. Oh, try as you may every single day. You still do what they say, it's true. You're acting so tall, but you're feeling so small. When your friends never call, I feel bad for you. So come on, do the lemming life. Come on, do the walk in the line. You do as you're told and you never be sold on learning something new. I'll be back for you. Just keep laughing, you'll be baffled by the battle it now win. Hey, you'll be coming to the show and telling everyone you know that you're my friend. So I kinda like when you're falling behind every single time you lose. You always complain, every day is the same and you're covered in rain. Sounds so sad for you, it's true. So come on, do the lemming life. Come on, do the walk in the line. You do as you're told and you never be sold on learning something new. I feel bad for you. Come on, do the lemming life. Come on, do the walk in the line. Do as you're told and you never be bold. You're always gonna lose. If you're walking in line and you're looking behind, you'll always sing the blues. Say the secret to life is an educated mind and a brain you'll always use. If you wanna be free, take a good look at me. And if you don't learn something new, I feel bad for you. Oh, hey, yeah. So bad for you.
Welcome to the Lulu live review. Hello, everyone. Welcome. And may I introduce to you bandmates Alec and Zach. Hello.
Greetings.
We're going to do this live stream thing, and it's a little bit different than the last live stream I've done, a little bit more involved. So we're going to try our best to make our way through it without too many technical difficulties. We encourage you all to pull up the lyrics in a separate window. If you really need to see them, we might be able to share them somehow, but I want you to look up the lyrics and play along with us, starting with Brandenburg Gate. Zach is going to be sharing the computer sound today. Zach, did you actually end up buying it, or are you gonna just do?
I did not purchase it. I'm gonna hold out for finding a clean LP of it, but
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
For now, the offline version of Spotify downloaded will suffice.
There you go. All right. Cool. And also, I should say, like, it's been about a year since we've seen each other in person.
Yeah, that's about right.
There is we played a show around this time last year at the Amsterdam Bar and Hall in Minneapolis.
Oh yeah.
Which Zach, wasn't that? No, wait. We did.
that
We
was-
also did the garage. I think that was the
Yeah.
last one.
Yeah,
That's-
the
it
garage
had
is
to
the
be.
last one.
And so
I've only played 2 gigs with this institution, and I've been here for a year.
welcome. Yeah, welcome. So yeah, welcome to the band. We play 2 shows and then there's a pandemic. Hooray.
Yay.
And Alec has been here since 2019, early 2019. But both of you, I think it's just really cool that that we like circled back, because I met you both when you were in your band in like, was it high school?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what was Veronica was teaching one or both of you?
Veronica taught me.
And Nick taught me.
Okay, Veronica and Nick were members of one of my previous bands, The Crucial Step. So we went to see you two play in your band, and you I don't know, did you ever see The Crucial Step live?
I don't think so.
Maybe not. But we've been like friends ever since. And so when I put out looking for a bassist and Alec responded, I was like, yeah, heck yeah. And we've been talking about the Saving Saint Anger idea for so long. I think all 3 of us, right? Zach, didn't you get on some of those earlier drafts?
Yeah, you've sent me definitely a couple of drafts. I think even way before Alec was in the band, I was like, hey, I'm interested in this.
Yeah.
Like just for fun.
Yeah, so like I'm extremely honored that you're all doing this with me, but I think we have a long record to get through, so we should probably get to it, huh?
Let's dive in.
All right.
All right.
Let's do it. People on YouTube, feel free to comment along if you hear something, you have questions, could be related to this Lulu situation or our band, whatever you want. Just chime in, have fun. Let's do this thing. Brandenburg Gate. I have no idea what I'm about to get into. I mean, I've heard this twice. Actually, before we start, what is your experience, Zach and Alec, with this record? How many times have you heard it before? Do you know it well? Where you at?
Alec, you go first.
I must have listened to part of it way back when, but I certainly have not listened to the whole thing, and I couldn't even begin to tell you anything besides I Am the Table. That's all I know.
Everybody's excited about that table.
Oh yeah, that table. Good quality, made out of finest wood, lumber. Up until probably early February 2021, I wasn't, I didn't listen to it. I didn't really care. Past the table jokes and memes that were being floated around at the time, we came up with the idea for the live stream, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I should research this. So I have listened to it one time all the way through in the last month, just for an initial understanding of what I'm about to involve myself with, and that was about it. So
I listened.
It'll still sound pretty fresh and interesting to me as well.
I listened way long ago once, and I forced myself to do the whole thing all the way through, and I did not like it at all. And then several years later, I thought maybe it was just an emotional response. It was a bad day. It was just something. So I tried it a second time years later, and I still have no idea why this thing exists. So I'm excited. Now that I've gone through their entire discography, I've graded every single song. I have a fresh appreciation for what Metallica is. Maybe there's some good in here. I don't know.
Find out.
Let's find out.
Do any of you know have you guys read the Wikipedia article on the album?
Very briefly.
All right. So, being kind of into a little bit more like the art rock kind of idea myself, I guess knowing that it's based on some just absurdly esoteric German play, I think helps with the frame of mind that you should enter into this album with. But I still don't know what goes on in the play or the plot or why the play was important to Lou. So I think it's time. I'm going to press play if you guys are ready for this.
Let's do this.
All right, here we go. Brandenburg Gate. I think that's a 12 string.
Yeah, that's great 12 strings.
Can you give us a little more volume?
I got you.
I would cut my legs and tits off when I think of Boris Karloff and Kinski in the dark of the moon.
Little Transformers
Dream
reference.
of Nosferatu, trapped on the Isle of Dr. Moreau. Oh, wouldn't it be lovely?
Why is this not in the lyrics?
Okay, here, can we establish how we want to do this? Do you guys want to like raise your hand or something, or like tell me if you have a comment to make and I'll pause it, or should we just keep talking over the whole thing because it's going to be a trip?
I think either's fine with me, but I don't know. I guess commenters, what do you want to hear? Do you want us to stop it every time we hear something interesting, as I've been doing for this whole process, or do we just get it over? Excuse me, get it over with. It'll take them a while to respond. What do you have to say?
You know, James Hetfield, I have an appreciation for what he does, and I don't know if the streamers or if my my bandmates here are familiar with the James Hetfield soundboard online. I love that stuff. I think it's great, and it's really, you know, characteristic of the thrash metal scene. But God damn it, James, can you please sing in tune? Because it just sounds so bad.
And this is after Death Magnetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Where he like figured it out. I'm gonna keep playing because
Also, living in a lonely world.
right? So we got all these freaking obscure references to people I don't know, and then it's like, oh, maybe I have just eaten a sandwich or something.
What? They said midnight. 1 point. Small town girl. Oh God, no. Is this Leonard Skinner? Treeses. We got some Dr. Seussian rhymes here. The Treeses. Where are these lyrics?
I'm keeping a record of all the references I don't understand.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
Life a whirl, looking at the Brandenburg Gate. I'm just a small town girl, giving life a whirl.
I like that.
Yeah.
That guitar at the end there, the climb up. That ending, let's pause it in between each song at least. That ending reminded me of like just a lot of the more medium to slow tempo pop punk from the early 2000s, where they
Yeah.
that like climb up had like a really anthematic like, and I feel like half of my songs have that.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say it's like big power ballad anthem vibes at
Yeah.
the end. Except add in Lou Reed singing slightly off rhythm.
So, like, my first impression of this is like, oh, this isn't like as. I think that this song kind of gives like the impression like, oh, wait, maybe this isn't as bad as I remember this. Things that I got right off of the bat were like, okay, we're referencing things that I have no, like, besides Boris Karloff, I don't know anything that's happening. Who's Kinski? Who's Peter Lorre? Who's Dr. Moreau? I don't know. I do know Nosferatu, I guess. Treeses. I said trees.
No, it's
know what
breeze.
trees are.
It's breezes in the treeses. That's some Seussian stuff. I'm gonna give him credit for that because I don't believe that we have to actually use real words. We can fudge it a little bit to get that nice little internal rhyme. I think that's kind of neat.
Okay, but like, if you're gonna include that like within a verse distance of cutting your legs and tits off, I'm sorry. I don't know if that's like. I feel like those are disjunct.
It's a little non sequitur.
They're a little. There's a tone. There's a tone imbalance, right?
Yeah.
Breezes in the trees works for like a child song, but then putting it next to that stuff, it just.
Well, you add into the mix these grown men saying, "I'm a small town girl."
Yeah, it just.
It's very funny.
I got a laugh out of the and sub absinthe drunk so late. He like stumbled over that line, and I don't know if it's just Lou Reed's singing style, but I want to give him credit for like making that intentional. Someone says drunk, so like he just like just dropped. And, yeah. People are asking why tits and legs, and I have no idea. I have no idea.
I think it's shock value too. I looked at some more reviews. Like, I think there was I read some reviews just again in passing, and I think it was from the Atlantic. It was either the Atlantic or Rolling Stone did a retrospective of this album.
Great.
And they're like, the point of the album is to shock. You know, because that's what Metallica did with Master of Puppets. Nobody sounded like Metallica.
Right.
When they released that album. They can't do that again because there's already a Master of Puppets. So if you're going to try and shock somebody, you got to cut off your legs and your tits.
But like look at the picture over here. The Lulu cover. She's got her arms cut off. But the rest of the bust is still there.
She
Why
does
not
not
just
have legs.
You know, why not legs and arms? That's a very fair point.
Perhaps Lou just doesn't really. Maybe he just never took an anatomy class.
Right? He just doesn't know what's what.
He just thinks the wrong part is the wrong part. Great. That's fantastic.
I guess my final thought on this song is I hate any time that any artist ever uses the term "give it a whirl." It doesn't sound like how people talk unless you are not of this era.
Sure.
It just doesn't sound like it belongs.
I have that same feeling. I have that same feeling for Nothing Else to Say. But in a different context, when someone writes, and I've done this too, there's nothing else to say. I feel like that's a placeholder for I couldn't come up with a different rhyme, and say is an easy rhyme word. And I don't have any. I literally have nothing else to say. I don't know what words to put here.
It's a cop out.
Yeah, it feels like a cop
stream
out.
of consciousness.
Yeah.
All
right.
Let's do this. This is The View.
The View.
And this was a single question mark?
Sure. I suspect that many of the streaming people may tune out after this because this is the table song.
Oh, the table song. Okay.
They'll get our reactions early, and then we're going to be left to... Please don't give up on us. We need somebody to help us get through this. Please stick with us for the whole album. Help us give it a whole chance.
Give it a whirl, maybe.
Give it a whirl.
Hey, give it a whirl.
Pass through the Brandenburg Gate with us.
Also, reminder to everyone watching, my typical grading system my new grading system is structure, flow, melody, engagement, and lyrics. So structure, flow, melody, engagement, lyrics. I don't think we have to really super hyperanalyze every song. But I would love to know what everybody else in the comments feels on the scale of each of those things of each song. So let's take a view.
All right. The View, 5 minutes long. Here we go.
Great. Oh, thank you for telling us the time. Okay, we got super halftime.
I am
Oh,
a
God.
chorus of the voices that gather up the magnets set before me. I attract you and repel you, a science of the heart and blood and meaning. The coldness of most beauties is a challenge that our youth must quickly conquer. There is no time for guilt or second guessing based on feelings. I am the truth, the beauty that causes you to cross your sacred boundaries. I have no morals, some think me cheap, and someone who despises the normalcy of heartbreak, the purity of love. But I worship the young and just formed angel who sits upon the pin of lust. Everything else bores me. I want to see your suicide. I want to see you give it up. Your life of reason.
Classic triplet. Oh, there's the triplet fill.
Your soul shaking. I want to have you downing every meaning you've amassed like a fortune. Oh, throw it away for worship someone who actively despises you.
Despises.
For worship someone who actively despises you.
There we go. Spies. He gets some grit in there. Oh yeah. There we go.
This sounds like it could have been on St. Anger.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, the tablet.
Got a little guitar harmony happening.
Worship. Worship. Pain and evil have their
Are they like
place
super drop
inside
tuned?
me. I offer them to you as servants of the gold
Yeah, it's
that
got to
you
be
must
like
give.
Gotta be.
B flat.
Pain and evil have their place sitting here beside me, and I offer them to you as servants of the gold that you must give to me. I want to see your suicide. I want to see you give it up, your life of reason. I want to see you on the floor. And in a coffin, soul shaking.
Was that like those dive bombs? Like at the end of
Gotta be.
I want to
Yeah.
have you
In the middle of the
doubting.
view?
We might do a solo. Ah, never mind.
Never mind. Just keep going.
For worship of someone who actively despises you. Who actively despises you. I am the view. I am the table.
There it is, the table.
I am the view. I am the table. I am all this. I am the root. The progress. The aggressor.
I am Groot.
I am the 10 stories. I am the table. I am.
I am the thorn within.
Here's your solo, Bryce.
Oh, there we go.
One note solo.
Oh,
Different note.
oh, we're back to this.
No.
Okay, I like the unresolved ending.
I don't mind the groove of this tune. I think it drags on a little bit, but like it sounds like a Metallica song. You know what I mean?
I think my first impression of it is, that it like I'm starting to like kind of put Lou Reed's involvement in this as like a late stage Jim Morrison, where it's just like, okay, your poetry and your spoken word stuff is just way out there, and then you have people playing behind you, like, and then it's trying to make this sort of, like noise soundtrack behind it. And I think that this song, it's a lot. I think the boon of it is that the groove is good, and that the riff, I think, can be tolerated for almost 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a 3-minute song. I am curious about the production of this record, and that, like, did the whole band plus Lou Reed like sit down and go, we're going to do this here, we're going to do this here? Or was Metallica like, here's some spare riffs that we're not using, and then just copy paste them however you choose? Because a lot of both of these first two songs to me sound like a 4-bar section looped, ad nauseum or whatever. Just, is that the right? I don't even know words. But looped in as until the next section, and then Lou Reed is just talking over it. But there's no real feeling of like verse chorus structure much. And then there's like a change in the groove, and that could be considered maybe the chorus. Obviously, the I am Groot and I am the progress. But it seems I'm always curious about that, because did the band sit down and what would be cool is if we played this super like double halftime feel for 3 minutes, and then we just change it a little bit and we scream I'm the table, and then Lou Reed will talk. So like, did they plan this? Or was somebody in the studio like chopping it to pieces?
This is the album they should have done the documentary on, not Saint Anger. They should have done the camera should have been rolling for this.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I want to be in the room.
Not to hate on. I'm not trying to put Lars on blast here.
Let's go for it.
But he does know what a hi-hat is, right?
What's funny is like of all people, he is like usually on the hi-hat for most songs.
He should know better. He should know better.
It's like crash, 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 crash. I'm like, that just sounds bad.
I would take a fucking China at this point. I would take a China.
I mean, honestly, I would like to see the return of the ride cymbal, but that's just me.
Maybe it got nicked, like on tour or something. He just doesn't have it anymore.
Not
Ride
used.
symbol's broke.
This
Crash
album
symbol is
was
woke.
the fundraiser for Lars Ulrich's new ride symbol.
What I find most intriguing about this is between Death Magnetic and Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Two of, in my opinion, some of their best records in their catalog. I mean, coming from Load, Reload, Saint Anger, this is like a return to form for them. And this is in the middle of those two. And this feels like sub Saint Anger so hard. I don't know. It's just intriguing to me that this is between those two.
Yeah, it definitely like it's I mean, we all know it's an anomaly, but when you place it there in like their history, it's even more so. Which again, I think brings back that idea of how was this produced and how was this if it was rehearsed.
Right. Did they I want to see the rehearsal. Okay, we're gonna play this song live.
Can you imagine going to that show?
Ugh. Let's pump some blood here.
All right.
Pumping blood?
7 minutes, 24 seconds.
Oh,
Pumping
goodness.
blood.
Hey, bets on if this is another slow tune.
Oh. What sort of BPM are we talking? What's the groove?
Well, the last two have been right around here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I do know the answer. I do remember this one because I thought that this one was actually a bit of a standout.
Oh.
If I recall.
In a good way or a bad way?
We'll find out.
Okay.
together.
Ready? Here we go.
Here we go. Oh. Some violins. Beautiful.
What string quartet signed up for this?
I did see in the record or in the list on the website they list all the musicians involved, and I saw that there were more than just Metallica and Lou Reed, so that's refreshing. Okay, yeah, I'm a fan of the kick. We get some Judas Kiss vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's picked up a little bit more.
I
Okay.
dig it.
Yeah. Hey, 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 hey.
Puppy blood, puppy blood, puppy blood.
I
I
bet
gotta
with the
say that line just felt really uninspired.
It really did. Had nothing behind it.
It doesn't add. It's like, oh, you got this really chunky riff, and now Lou Reed just comes in and it like literally just copies it into his vocals.
Yep.
I'd like to hear a better singer attack that and see what it sounds like.
It's like very thin.
That is blasted and busted away.
Like, yeah, again, I feel like there could have been a better
A
delivery.
nail or a little piece of glass.
So far, this is the first one where I'm like, hey, let's cover it.
A little piece of glass. Swarming
I like the drone in the background too. I think
Yeah.
that
Drones?
adds a lot.
The drone's dope.
It's got like
It's
a
little
King Nothing.
unnerving.
the blood that I'm pumping away. Like bees over the air. Off the pumper, off the thing.
Off the pumpa.
The blood that I'm pumping away.
Ooh, break. We're gonna change the vibe. Double time. Double time. Double time.
Off the pump, off
Oh.
the thing.
Oh, now it's a Tool song.
The air right out of it.
If I pump blood in the sunshine and you wear a
This
leather
works,
box
though.
with a zip,
Yeah.
This
and I
works.
pump more blood,
This
and
is
it
like
seeps
that
through
Jim
my
Morrison
skin.
thing I'm
We
talking
adore
about.
The river,
Yeah.
the stream, the trickle, the tributary of my heart as I pump more blood.
Okay.
It seeps through my skin. Will you adore the river,
Ooh.
the stream, the trickle, the tributary of my heart?
Okay.
The first original bass idea.
There's your
there.
China, Alec.
There it was.
There it is.
If I'm pumping blood,
Oh,
Little
like a
esoteric,
common
huh?
state worker.
worka.
If I waggle my ass like a dark prostitute, do you think less of me?
Okay, no longer want to cover it.
And my coagulating heart.
Yeah.
Waggle my ass like a dark prostitute, coagulating
Triple it, triple it,
heart,
triple it.
pumping blood. Come on,
Were you
James.
Come on, James. Did he just break the fourth wall there?
He did. He did. He needs James.
Give us double time.
Would you top me off? Would you top me off as I deepen a curtsy while you yell out mercy? We grow apart. Would you rip and cut me? Use a knife on me.
This is like those YouTubers that do drums along to movies and like people talking, where they just do the drum to whatever they're saying.
David Dockery.
Yeah.
Pepe Sylvia. Pepe Sylvia. The first one that comes to mind.
Jones big ass truck rental and truck storage facility. Okay, we got build. I want that double
Third
time.
one. Is this one going somewhere?
Please.
Stay tuned. There it is.
Yeah.
We made it.
Supreme violation. Jack, I beseech you. Oh, Jack, I beseech you. Supreme violation. Blood in the foyer, the bathroom, the tea room, the kitchen, with her knives blade. I will swallow your sharpest cutter like a colored man's big blood spurting from me. Oh, Jack, I beseech, Jack, I beseech you.
Jack,
I beseech you.
help me, Jack.
In the end, it was an ordinary heart. Oh, Jack, I beseech you, and as I scream out my pain, in the end, it was an ordinary heart. In the end, it was an ordinary heart. Jack, I beseech you. Supreme violation. Oh, Jack, I beseech you. I call out your name. Blood in the foyer, the bathroom, the tea room, the kitchen, and knives blade. I swallow your sharpest cutter like a colored man's dick. Blood spurting from me.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
No, not good.
Blood spurting
I caught
from me.
that the
Oh,
first
Jack.
time he said it. I was like,
Yeah, that doesn't do it for me.
Oh, Jack,
Oh,
I
it
beseech
happened
you.
earlier
In the
too.
end, it was an
Yeah.
ordinary
Yeah.
heart.
I was not paying attention.
In the end, it was an
Yeah.
ordinary heart, pumping blood.
Drumming.
Drumming. Left, right, or right, left, drumming. All the way through. You get some triplets every once in a while. Occasional flam.
we got to fade into the next song. I think we should pause before we get too far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
That tune had the most like variety.
I feel like it was the most effective at what they were trying to do thus
Yeah.
far.
Yes.
It was evocative.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because that is like that kind of combines like the elements of like maybe like this noise or like this much more unrefined kind of sound that I think Lou Reed kind of starts to become more known for. And it marries that with like the brutality of Metallica, which we know and love. And I think that was probably the most effective track because of it. And I have questions about it. I have questions, like like we said, about some of the choices of lines that Lou decided to include.
Yeah.
But also, like, who the hell is Jack? We don't know. Like, this is the first time we've heard of this character.
I mean,
Will he return?
I've been saying for a while that there's a Metallica song-o-matic universe, and that there is a connection between their songs. There is a song called "The House That Jack Built."
Jack Bill.
Just saying,
The carpenter.
there's something in there potentially, but
We are
also,
beseeching the carpenter.
I beseech you, Jack, show me where that house is that you built. Is there a table inside? Huh? Maybe there's a table in there.
Designer furniture. Restoration hardware. Get in on this game for those of you in the Minnesota area.
But I think that this definitely has I think I have an appreciation, except for those really outdated, like racist lines. It's really, really ugly to hear that. But the flow of this song has a really interesting pace to it, in that it teases two different builds, and by the third one, you're like, okay, well, we're not going to go anywhere, and they pay it off, and that's cool to me.
Tension and release.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
they play around
storytelling.
with that. And I think that also keeps it engaged. And I mean, by the end too, when you get to that, like that the climax of the ridiculous, like this noise and the chaos, and Lou Reed is just constantly shouting, Jack, 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 you know, like he's like what, Kate Winslet or something.
Yeah.
It's effective, and I think it's engaging. I do also want to mention, I do have the lyrics. I pull them up on my phone as to peruse as we follow along. And the lyrics that I had pulled up, the particular version, made a difference the last time that Lou Reed said, Jack, I beseech you, because he said, I beseech ya.
Yeah.
And that was reflected in the lyrics. And I thought that was a nice little touch.
That's fun.
Do you all know Stephen Colbert's impression of Joe Biden? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
He'll put on the sunglasses and he'll be, come on, Jack. And that's all I could think of is Joe Biden singing this, which is very entertaining.
So yeah, that's great. Putting on the glasses, the metaphorical glasses of understanding this record as an odd German play, right? This song feels a lot like when you're watching a movie or a play. There's usually some sort of an underscore in a frantic scene, pun intended, and the urgency at the end, Jack, the pleading, like Jack, Jack, Jack. I'm imagining a play happening, and this happened, and you know that music underscoring it works pretty nicely. It's got that urgency to it. Everything at the beginning, you know, it's got that rough little Judas Kiss vibe at the beginning, and then we go into a Tool section randomly, and then we build to this like high energy double. I was saying double time, but it was like straight time, and then they do that quarter note snares, and it's kind of a nice illustration. I don't know what this play is about. I'm retaining 0 of these lyrics, but It is fascinating to me to imagine someone like pleading either for their life or whoever Jack is, and the energy of the song is matching it pretty well, actually.
Yeah. I think that it probably wouldn't be too much of a stretch to hazard a guess that this song is probably about a prostitute. And the whole album, like,
Sure,
is a concept album.
We are seeing a lot of that.
While we listen to this next tune, you might see me staring blankly into the camera, and that's because I'm going to do some research on this play here. So
Okay.
let's pick it up here with Mistress Dread, 6 minutes, 51 seconds.
Mistress Dead.
Deep Purple?
Yep. Is that organ?
It's like the orchestra tuning.
Yeah. Is that thrash?
No hi-hat in sight, though.
I'm built like you are. I have a dress and a train. Your snake cold lips make a harsh straight line.
Here. Let's see if this helps.
Echoes through my brain.
YouTubers, here's some lyrics for you.
Let me lift a glass high. Let me follow in your footsteps. Let me follow in
I like that line.
Let me follow
Your sigh.
in your side. I'm a woman who likes men,
Good for you.
but this is something else.
Oh.
I've never felt such stirrings. I feel like I was someone else. I wish you'd tie me up and beat me, rush me like a kick, a bleeding strap across my back, some blood that you could kiss. Oh, kiss away, oh, kiss away. I wish there was a strap of blood that you could kiss away. I wish there was a strap of blood that you could kiss away. Bind me with a scarf and jewels. Put a bloody gag to my teeth. I beg you to degrade me. Is there ways that I could eat? I am a secret lover. I am your little girl. Please spit into my mouth. I'm forever in your swirl.
There's the swirl again.
You're heartless and I love that. You have no use of me. But I open the sticky legs I bear and then insert a fist and arm. Some lost appendage.
Oh.
Please open me, I beg. You are my Goliath. You are my Goliath. And I am Mistress Dread. Oh,
This isn't another Metallica song.
Oh, I am Mistress Dread. Oh, but
The
They've
Unnamed
started,
Feeling?
Like, they've started songs
Yeah.
within this confine of this
I
track,
love you in my head.
but they haven't
Oh,
gone
kiss away, kiss
Yeah.
away.
This one's not doing it for me.
No.
No.
Kiss away, kiss away. All I ask, my baby, kiss away. All I ask, my baby, kiss away.
Little Picardy third.
Oh, he did that earlier too.
You are my Goliath.
I was just like, I was about ready to go. You are my Goliath. Just like get that third right above. Like turn
Oh.
this into a pop punk song, why don't we?
Yep. Just a little tag at the end, huh?
A couple of tags.
Hey, dude, do another one. The song's not over yet.
Yeah,
Come
Lou's
on.
just like staring at Lars, just like,
Again. It's the return of the king in music form. Couple extra endings on the.
that
Wow.
was the
Oh,
most
boy.
challenging one yet.
Yes.
That was
Yuck.
very challenging.
You know, there was a point there in the second half, somewhere in there, where I was trying to give a bunch of credit to the lyrics not being literal. Where, like, as disgusting as "please spit in my mouth" sounds, that there could be, like, a sense of, like, telling me what to say. You know what I mean? Like, sort of a deeper level of, like, spitting in my mouth is like you're feeding someone their beliefs. You're pumping blood into, I don't know, but it sounds pretty literal to me after you get to the fisting.
Yeah.
Gets really real at that point.
So if you were following along from the last song, we decided that we should probably do some research into the background of these plays. And the German plays are by this dude named Frank Wedekind. I'm gonna go with that as my butchered German part. There are 2 plays that he wrote centering on this character of Lulu, and yeah, it's the long and short of it is that she's a prostitute and she marries a bunch of people. She kills some people. You guys, I figured out who Jack is, though.
Oh?
Who she was beseeching,
Okay.
and that is Jack the Ripper.
Oh.
So I think there's some depraved, gory sexual acts being described in this tome.
Interesting. Tome indeed.
Yeah. There's
wow.
also I think that this last song here is her first sexual encounter with, where is her name? This is her first lesbian sexual encounter that is described in this play.
Okay.
So I think that if you start to look at the beginning of this song, Mistress Dread, that I am built like you, et cetera, et cetera. I think that's.
I have a dress in a train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's where that came from. But knowing the background of it, this song still sucks.
A lot.
A lot.
Still
yeah.
not good.
It's bad.
There's no flow. You know, there is no good structure. The tags on the end were
excessive.
Like, yeah, like you just we didn't need that.
Yeah. I feel like there's probably some good thrash riffs in here, but not in an even taking out the lyrics, nothing really stood out as this makes a song.
Yeah.
It
It all sounded like intros.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they kind of strung them together.
Yeah. Wow. All right. I don't think I have anything else to say. It's a big old.
No, let's not give this. We're not giving any more to this song. It doesn't need any more
It really doesn't.
attention.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Iced Honey.
Iced
That
honey.
sounds like an absolute bop.
It sounds
Well,
like a
let's
bop, huh?
Let's find out.
I
here.
am going to. I'll just shift us over just a little bit so I can squeeze some more lyrics in. Oh, I can't. Okay. Well,
All right, here we
I
go.
also I have shifted my sitting position because my padded chair has made my butt extremely sweaty.
nice.
Is it the padded chair or is it what we're listening?
Soon you.
Well,
Soon you could become the chair.
oh, that's what James wanted.
The whole time listening to this record makes you turn into furniture.
I would watch that Disney movie.
I would too. Holy moly!
Help! I'm a table. Where is the dragon? All right. This
All
is iced honey. Yeah.
Iced honey.
Okay.
It's like some alt rock.
Yeah.
Lars found the hi-hat.
Yep.
He found it.
There it is.
Thank goodness.
Oh.
If the efforts to admire
This is immediately way more accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or the sun or the stars. It doesn't matter who you are. Eyes turning. Eyes turning. Now me, I've tried a million tricks to make life hold and make it stick. Not running heat that flames in out, but the proud piece of ice that always floats. Eyes turning. Eyes turning.
Oh.
Yeah.
Harmonies? Question mark?
Like, why is it so pitchy? It just sounds like like was to go on to American Idol in the early 2000s. Like, I feel like Randy Jackson would be like, I don't know, dog, it's kind of pitchy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's got to be something in the production.
Yeah.
It's just the way that the vocals are like layered.
Butterfly in a jar. If violence marks,
It's like,
final
I don't know.
if you
It's like they purposely didn't. You know, it just feels like just sing whatever you feel like, and maybe they just recorded the vocals and then they added music later.
and your oxygen starts to run out if your final guess.
Well, see, they're singing in 432 hertz,
Set up a low.
the frequency of the universe.
To leak out, and people wonder what you're all about. A heartbreaker with an unattached heart. The story of love gives them all a start. And me, I've always been this way, not by choice. Just this way I can put my honey pot in a jar, or a heart, or a fist of some young boy. If you can't put a butterfly in a jar, no wonder, no need to wonder where you are. It might seem like hell, the river sticks. Your
Little sticks?
affection never sticks, no matter what you say.
He just rhymed sticks with sticks.
A butterfly heart
But the river version.
flies right past.
Homonyms.
There's nothing to say, nothing to do. See if the ice will melt for you. 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 Ice honey, ice honey.
Okay. It's, you know. It's like a like a garage bar band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that China.
See,
I would
the-
like to just add for the people streaming that can't see our Zoom chat that Alec has begun sending us Discogs listings for this album on vinyl, and they range anywhere from 70 euros to upwards of 200 euros for a clean copy of Lulu on vinyl, specifically the European press.
Yikes.
You need it.
Just like to make that known.
You got 200 euros lying around?
Somewhere, I'm sure. That was much more accessible.
Yeah.
That was almost a pop song.
Yeah.
My-
I agree.
Yeah, but it's like it's accessible in the same way that that Brandenburg Gate was accessible, and I feel like they took like it was going between the 1 and the 4 the whole time, and Brandenburg Gate I think was going between the 1 and the 4 the whole time. So it left. I don't know. Are we on disc 2 now? Do we know?
I had that.
Is this the second act?
Cheat on Me is the last one.
Okay.
Of disc 1. So then, so we're one track away. We are at track
God,
5 out of 10.
Oh man. Okay.
There's a 19-minute song at the end, which will be quite the
I'm
adventure.
prepping myself for it. I think the last there's a significant portion of that 19-minute song where I think it's just strings, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
So that we might be able to like cut the volume of that and then put our final thoughts over some string drones.
Yeah. Honestly, there are, again, I have this thing where I listen to songs and I consider whether I would cover them or not. And this one is so far standing out as the most potential, if performed vocally by someone who isn't Lou Reed. I wonder how much more accessible it would be. Because even
is
go ahead.
he actually sings rhythmically in this one. Like, there's a groove to it. There's a flow to it. My only beef is I really enjoyed the call and response actually between Lou and James. I didn't like when they were singing the same thing slightly differently at the same time. That didn't do it for me.
I think you're underselling how different it was.
That gave me the dad band vibe. The unrehearsed vibe.
See if the ice will melt for you, and then James will melt for you. And it's like, okay, so James is singing this like really rhythmically, and like if Lou was even trying to match that, or if they were trying to like sync up in some way, shape, or form, I think it would have sounded better.
Yeah,
and that leads me to maybe suspect that these vocals were not recorded at the same time.
Yeah,
because
absolutely not.
They're so different.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, perhaps even like not even hearing the other take while recording.
Yeah.
Whoever went second.
Yeah. What do you guys what are your takes so thus far on like the sound of the album, like the actual production? Because there's been a couple times now where I feel like it's gotten just a little bit in the way. And I think I don't know if I think it might not even be the production, because it's really clean. I think that everything like has its place. Like the guitars and the drums, I think are really well recorded and really well mixed. But like I feel like the choice of dropping the tuning so much and then also having Lou's voice like really down there and really gravelly, like it's just taking up the same frequency range. And a couple of the times it just feels like something's getting kind of lost for me.
Yeah, sure.
Well, there's no high range in most of this. You were missing a lot of those like punchy high mids and all that. It's also down in the basement, like you're saying.
Yeah.
I guess I have been I've been training myself not to listen too hard to mix, because I've been grading their entire catalog, and if I grade them on their mix, that always favors more recent songs typically. But
Justice for All would just be right out the window.
Yeah, it would not be, worth anything.
0 out of 10.
Yeah, exactly.
Bad song.
Worse than Saint Anger.
Worse. Yeah. But actually, like on that, you can barely hear the bass in Saint Anger as well. Anyway, so I guess nothing mix wise is standing out, because my ears I'm having a hard time getting away from Lou's voice. And I'm almost missing everything else, because every time I start to zero in on a guitar riff or a drum part, he pulls me back. And it's really hard for me to focus on the mix. So I guess maybe I'll pay a little bit closer attention. The only thing that's really like made me go, ooh, is what I already forgot, which I should have been taking notes, but which one was the one with the Tool stuff with all the builds in it? Pumping Blood.
That's the best one we've heard so far.
As far as mix and stuff?
I think as far as just overall all things being considered.
It had that really unfortunate lyric in there, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think I'm kind of favoring Iced Honey right now.
This one's not bad.
It has a more of a rhythm to it. It doesn't feel so spoken word.
Something I think, whereas, Bryce, where you said you were trying to pull your ears away from the mix,
Yeah.
I've been trying to pull myself away from associating good groove equals good song.
Yeah.
That's where I've been really trying to, because I think that's where most of the album's detractors point first, is it's really repetitive and it's not good because no good Metallica riffs. And so I've been trying to remove that thought from my brain, just get it right out of there.
Yeah.
So that I can kind of come at it from a different angle, which I think all three of us can agree that's how you have to think about Saint Anger as well, is you have to completely just ignore everything else and take it as its own independent record. Forget that, it's James and Kirk and Lars and Bob Rock, what the hell. But and just think about what is being presented to me sonically, and how does that fit in with the rest of other things stylistically besides Metallica's catalog.
That's a great point.
So that's where I'm trying to maintain that. But man, Mistress Dread was testing my patience there, and yeah.
No, that's definitely the low point right now for me, for sure.
So we're gonna go into the next one here. Cheat on Me. We're at our final track of the first disc. I don't know if you have the time code for it, but I do. It's 11 minutes and 26 seconds long. So
okay, all right, strap in.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Let's go. There's that organ again, I think. Is that a synth?
Ooh, yeah, it sounds like an affected synth.
Okay.
There's a harshness, like it's been reamped or something.
Yeah.
Oh, strings.
There's the strings.
Ethereal. Yeah, it's really evoking that orchestra warm-up sound.
I think that all of the album's softer sections so far have been some of the more compelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just because songs like Mistress Dread were just so okay, let's go, and there's no stopping, and it's just this battery, pun intended, of the same thing over and over, of this just really loud, brutal riff, and it's not going anywhere, and Lou is just rambling on. That this feels really fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Well, I
beautiful.
think it's-
This is Robert Fripp.
This is really nice,
Eno
yeah.
and Fripp.
Yeah. Well, I think that's probably part of the intention, talking about the shock value. There's probably a little bit of intentional, okay, we're going to wear you down. We're going to wear you down and just really assault your eardrums. And then, okay, now we're going to.
So we're talking
breathe.
tension release on a macro scale.
Exactly. On an album-wide scale.
Yeah.
That's not. Is that bass guitar or is that a bass synth?
That sounds like bass guitar, but
I would say
it doesn't sound like Rob Trujillo's tone.
Right.
No.
That sounds
Quite
like
mellow.
a freaking P bass or something.
It's very round. It's not much attack.
Yeah, that's a bass guitar.
I'm really getting a lot of Tool vibes here.
Are either of you familiar with King Crimson, Robert Fripp, the whole idea of Frippertronics?
No.
So Robert Fripp kind of came up with this certain way to loop his guitar through effects pedals and multiple tape recorders to get this reverse sound. And I'm getting that a little bit in whatever Kirk's doing here. Just a little bit.
Feedback.
Yeah.
And that's kind of helping me again to like keep this in the context of this is an art album that should be listened to after you listen to like, you know, music for airports or something.
Yeah.
Maybe not that specific album. Art rock fans can come for me in the comments later.
See, this fits. This is a tone match to me.
Yes.
I agree.
Like this is how, like this is where Lou's voice should sit. Because we're finally starting to get something above like the mid frequency range.
I would have liked to hear Lou Reed collaborate with Tool because it sounds like he wanted to. And it
He
feels
just picked the wrong metal band.
right.
Yeah.
It feels like they actually probably would have brought something wonderful to it.
He could have confused Maynard James Keenan with James Hetfield. We don't know.
Maybe, yeah, that's it. The James stood out.
Can tear us apart. I have the
Ooh.
loves of many men, but
I love that little boo-doo-doo-doo.
But we got some low toms happening now.
On me.
What is that? That boo-doo-doo.
That's the synth.
Yeah.
It's got a really cool, like,
Why do I?
It almost sounds like it's a monophonic synth.
Yeah. Definitely.
Why do I cheat on me? Why?
The synth also evokes for me like underwater level in a video game.
sure. I was thinking, I don't know why, but I'm envisioning the Jungle Book for some reason. But like the Snake song, Hiss's song, like the Go to Sleep, like sort of, I don't know, like I'm getting like a jungly sort of 50s, 60s abstract rock kind of,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ooh, that was a nice little.
This has got a fun groove.
I spit upon you and change my mind. I have many hearts to break. And many, many,
Talking about getting spit in your mouth. Now
Yep.
our narrator.
Let the light of stars pour
Exactly.
out like
My, how the turntables.
candle in a spout
Was
of
that a The Office reference?
seed and break up. Let the
That's
stars
cool.
light. Why do you cheat?
Yeah, this is definitely video game music.
Oh yeah.
Why do I cheat on me? Why do I cheat on thee?
Yeah, James is singing on 432 here.
Why do I desecrate thee?
Like I hate to keep bringing it up, but it just keeps coming back and it keeps just detracting.
Yeah. They could have used Melodyne. I wouldn't be offended.
Yeah. What? Is there a mode going on here? There's something about that synth that is like bringing me somewhere and I don't know where it is. It's not a mode. It's like Middle Eastern vibes? No, not that.
Why do you cheat on me?
I don't know what I'm hearing,
Why do I cheat on me?
but I love it.
Why do I piss my dreams?
Why do I piss my dreams?
That's because that's what it is.
Pissing the night
I like
away.
you kiss your dreams because that's what it is.
If I could, I give you a rope. Your love means zero to me. I'm a passionate
Nothing.
upon the sea.
Pop. Bad grammar. Oh, sorry, we were talking about that before the stream started.
Oh.
Oh, there's some effective James Hetfield mayes.
Yeah. Extra vowels.
do I cheat on me?
That's not in the lyrics.
Do I cheat on myself? Well, I really have nobody else. Why do you cheat on? Why do you cheat on me? Why do you cheat? Cheat on me. Why do you cheat? On me. Your love means zero to me. Why do I cheat? Your love means zero to me. Why do you cheat? Cheat on me. Well, I've got nobody else. Why do I cheat? Your love means zero to me. Why do you cheat on
Ooh, that was not the right note.
Your love means zero to me.
Buckle up, y'all. There's still another verse after this.
Oh God. What?
We got 2.5 minutes left.
But the lyrics are
Think about
done,
how far we've come.
right? Are the? Oh, maybe they're not. They're doing this
Would
thing
you
with the
say-
lyrics where like they're not writing everything they're singing, and so I don't actually know where we are anymore. I thought we were done with the lyrics.
Oh no.
Cheat on. Why do I cheat on you? I've really got nobody else.
When you tried to emulate that, I almost thought I was about to hear a Wilhelm scream, but
Anybody got a good Wilhelm impression?
I don't. I wish I did.
well, we started watching some of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies in order, and it's just like, I think it was in Captain Marvel, which came out in 2019. It's like, Wilhelm screams, really?
It's
Bryce, you've done a
apparently
video on them, haven't you?
on Wilhelm's. No, but I have great big opinions on the Wilhelm scream,
Okay.
which I suppose we could get into. Yeah. Is that the end?
No, we still have 10 more seconds of feedback, Bryce.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's
Patience.
fine. For those watching along that don't know the Wilhelm scream, it is a sound effect that was like that. Wilhelm wasn't even the original. Like, it was in something before that, but it's a sound effect of somebody getting hit and going ah, and like falling off of his horse. And in the movie, wherever that dates, I forget what the title was. They go, "Hey, Wilhelm," and then he like responds, and then he gets shot with an arrow or something. And that scream is a sound effect that Hollywood uses in everything. It's in every Disney movie. It's in everything by George Lucas. Every single Star Wars has it somewhere. It is in like it's all over the place. And so it's one of those things where apparently post-production sound designers are using it as like an ode to sound. Like it's apparently like a oh, we love the craft. Here's our little like nod to those who came before us. But like, I hate it. It pulls me out of the movie. As soon as I hear it, I'm like, you couldn't get anybody to scream for you. Like, I will gladly scream into a microphone just to give somebody a new take.
Yeah, a new sample.
Yeah.
And I just like, every time I hear it, I go, ah. But there's a second
groan.
There's a couple of them. Yeah, exactly. The Wilhelm groan. But then there's the Ronnie scream, which is the it sounds more like a TIE fighter.
I
Oh, sure.
And that shows up occasionally as well. And then there's the Diddy laugh, which I know from the intro to Diddy Kong Racing. But it's a couple of children laughing. I think the sound effect is actually just called like two kids playing or something. But it's these two kids, and one of them goes, and it like goes up a certain way. And I've heard that in commercials and like I don't know, just sound design. Sound designers have this big bank of sound effects, and they keep reusing from it. And occasionally you start hearing the same sound over and over. And for me, it's like, I know I've been in that place where it's like, I just need a person walking in sand sound effect, but I would rather go out with a microphone than just, I don't know. It's just for the Wilhelm, at least.
Yeah. That happened to me once too, like when I was in middle school or something, and I got my first MacBook. And I was so proud of it because I bought it myself off of the internet for $500 on eBay, and it was clearly like I was probably stolen. And I was messing around with GarageBand like a lot, and I was like, Apple loops, I can just stack these on top of each other, and then make something that sounds like I know what I'm doing. And then I would start listening like to background music and TV and stuff, and I was like, I just used that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like. And then it's just like the whole thing suddenly felt kind of cheap.
Yeah.
Same thing.
There are YouTubers that I can almost instantly tell that they've edited their video in Final Cut because of the sound effects and music that they've used are straight
Let
from
alone the fonts.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you're using Cobble Book. Great. All right. Yeah, I know. That's the default. Got it. Maybe not. Maybe not Cobble Book.
What's the iMovie default? Because that one just drives me nuts.
Oh yeah.
I think I used it for March to Midnight.
Nice.
Oh, I forget what it was called though. Anyway, how's this
I'm
song?
on a computer. It's a Google.
Yeah. It could be 2 minutes shorter, and it'd be a decent cut. I think.
I would love to hear an instrumental of the song. I think it's actually very beautiful with that build, and the groove is pretty solid. And aside from the off-key singing, and I have no idea what we were talking. Like again, I can't pay attention to these lyrics. I drift off because I'm just so sidetracked by what's happening.
And I think for me, like the lyrics, I mean, looking along, it's like, okay, this probably takes the place of like some sort of internal monologue in the play.
Yeah.
It's like, why am I like this? Why are you the way that you are? It's very introspective, and like, I am bad to myself and have low self-esteem. Therefore, I sleep around and murder my partners.
Yeah.
I think that's where this is coming from. And I think that you didn't need to take 11 minutes to convey that sentiment. But again, I was more engaged during the first 2 minutes of this song when there were no lyrics, and it was just like some ambience than I was when James Hetfield started like groaning. So there's just like the pacing of the whole thing is weird.
Anybody got a good Hetfield groan impression?
Something like that. And then I despise it. And he did it a couple times too, and like on the Saint Anger album, where it's just like it gets like he just lets his voice get out of control when he goes up. Like, and it's still like really, like
control.
Yeah, it just sounds like he's shredding his voice for effect, but it just doesn't translate. And that happens here too. So
I think I knew this before, but a slight tangent. The James Hetfield soundboard doesn't exist anymore, as far as I can tell.
Oh my god!
Can't find
Pour
it.
one out.
There's a supercut of every in every. They just took every from every song and just yeah.
Yeah, I know that one. That's good stuff. But I can't find the soundboard.
That sucks. Shall we move on to frustration?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
They're gonna evoke that feeling in us.
I have a question. Is this related somehow to Temptation, the missing song from Saint Anger from the Presidio sessions There's a whole section in there, some kind of monster documentary, where they're recording Temptation, and it's just so bad. And Lars is playing some weird groove, and he just wants to play something different. And they're just like, play the song. Just play it normal. I don't want to be
That
normal.
sounds about right.
Sorry, you said temptation, and then I was like, temptation, frustration, so bad it makes him cough. I'm like, oh, freaking Police now. Goes back to don't stand so close to me.
Don't stand so close to me. Would I mean, I would be all right to listen to that instead, but we have committed to this record.
Nope. You got to commit to the bit, Bryce. There's no backing down now. Still got another, too long. Here we go. Frustration.
All right, frustration.
8 minutes, 33.
Try not to get too frustrated while listening to frustration. We got lexicon right off the bat. That's a nice word.
Yeah, in my lexicon of hate sounds like a lyric that me or Zach could have written in middle school.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I cry icicles in my stein.
Alec, were you part of Mondegreen? Was that?
That was a short-lived version. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mondegrass.
Mondegrass.
A Mondegreen of Mondegreen.
Yes. Wonderful. Brilliant. It's brilliant. For those who've been following the Metallica journey, you've only really seen me, but these other two bandmates are far more, I guess, musically intelligent, I would say.
I don't know about that.
I would say so. I mean, you're both teaching it anyway.
You're underselling yourself, Bryce. I think that we have, we both Alec and myself went to like music school. We're both music educators for those that don't know. And as part of that, we got kind of this classical training in a music school.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't really. I think that Bryce comes from a much more hands-on type of thing, and your experience at times, even at IPR, for whatever it was or was not worth, I think also still influences you to have an understanding of things that
Yeah.
like, I would not say that any of the three of us know more than the other about anything musical.
That's fair. That's fair. I feel like I have like a hack approach. Like I do things from the Music for Dummies book, and then when I go like, what does this actually mean? I could turn to you two to actually give me the key signature or whatever.
Yeah. Fair enough.
You're the ones that could be like, oh no, the harmony should be here. And I'm like, I don't know. Sounds good.
I don't have the strength I once had in you, and your prickless lover and his easel in his eyes.
Where are we? Oh, there it is. No?
I feel a pain creep up my leg.
Oh, there it is.
Where the hell is this
Just-
coming from?
Cut.
I puke my guts out at your feet.
Da, da, da.
And then I
Da, da, da.
to be dead, to have no feeling, to be dry and spermless, like a girl,
Gross.
What the hell?
Gross.
like a girl.
I do not like those lyrics.
I don't like it.
I want so much to hurt you.
Okay, let me parse through
want
this.
so
What are
much
we
to
talking?
hurt
What the
you.
hell are we talking
What
about
are we
here? Does he
talking
even
about?
have?
So much to hurt you.
Is there
Marry me,
any
I want
reason
you
at
as my
all that
wife.
he needs to be talking like this?
Spermless like a girl.
Shut up, Lou.
Wow.
Just shut up.
Yikes.
More men than I.
But even more, like, did the band approve of these lyrics before they played? Like, did they know that this is what they're? I mean, obviously they gotta know, but do they put
have
this
to.
on and be like, "Hey, I made this thing. Hey, listen to this thing that I just made."
And they're like, all right, Lou,
Let her rip.
give it a whirl.
Looks like a harbor to stimulate. All I do is fall over. I don't have the strength I once had.
some like grunge in here, maybe. Where?
We've changed the harmony.
Are we up to the 2 or something, or is it just?
Yeah, it sounds like the 2.
We love hanging out on the 2. Normal, totally normal thing to do.
That like bling, those high strings ringing out. I like that effect, but that's all.
Yep.
It's kind of shoegazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want you so
Like very
much
heavy shoegaze.
to hurt you. I want so much to hurt you. I want so much to hurt you. I want you as a wife.
Gross.
This does play. This plays out like a very creepy like monologue in a play.
Is my lexicon of
It's a
hate.
little horror movie-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frustration
So I mean, it's evocative.
is my lexicon of hate.
The lexicon.
Frustration.
Frustration.
My lexicon of hate.
Frustration.
Lexicon.
The things that he chooses to like free associate or to like to
Frustration.
repeat and like attach on is interesting to me.
Yeah.
Heartbeats flutter.
I like the whispering.
It's new.
I wish that I could
Fresh.
kill you,
Oh,
but I too love your eyes.
I can't go over more.
I want you as my wife. I want you as my wife. Just like a girl.
Clear your
Lou
throat,
Reed.
Lou.
Lou Reed bends down on one knee after a lovely date in Italian and just screams, bellows, "I want you as my wife!"
But also want to hurt you for some reason.
Yeah.
What a
Red
what a
flag.
proposal.
Slap. Be my wife.
He's toxic.
Feel the pain creep up my leg. Blood running from my nose. I puke my guts up at your feet. You're more man than I.
Your.
Again, the things he latches onto.
Yeah. You think that's improvised?
Yes.
Do you think he's making
Gotcha.
up the words as he goes?
I absolutely think that it is.
Gotta be.
And that again, that like blurs the line because, like, again, like Iced Honey, we were so convinced that they were not recording that in the same room. But like, you have this riffing. He's like riffing here,
Yeah.
and it's like, but how do you justify those two? Just the how and why do we have to come back to that?
Puking my guts at your feet. More man than I. Frustration.
He doesn't sound frustrated.
No.
Just frustration. Sounds drunk, not frustrated.
Yeah, that's the non sequitur for me.
Yeah, the tone mismatch.
He's repeating it without conviction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's that tone mismatch again.
I have a tone mismatch conversation for you. Is this? Oh, there's
Too
more.
bad the song's not done.
Ah!
Now you may proceed.
Oh my goodness! Wow. Okay, so have either of you seen the new trailer for Mortal Kombat?
No.
There's a new Mortal Kombat coming.
I
And
think I've heard of it, though.
I've got opinions. So the problem that I have with a lot of adaptations like this, the same goes for Power Rangers. What was it, 2017 version of Power Rangers? Is that this, like, look at the original context with Power Rangers, you've got these campy teenagers with attitude who get these magical suits, and then they ride in giant mechanical dinosaurs that literally transform into a giant mechanical robot to fight a robot that has just been enlarged by a lady from the moon. There isn't much there to treat seriously. It's pretty over the top. So when they make this, like, when they're like, oh, we're going to do gritty reboot version, and everything is like, they're aliens that fell from the stars and they're buried beneath the earth for eons and finally coming, because the energy is whatever, and blah. It's like they have this sad moment of everybody telling their heartbroken, like, backstory, and then they turn around and drive giant dinosaurs. And it doesn't match. And the reason why the original Power Rangers movie works is because it's full of that same camp and stupid puns and way over the top. And even the bad graphics aren't out of place because the whole movie's terrible, but in a fun way. And so the same thing with this new Mortal Kombat. It's like serious and like, oh, the fights are realistic. But then they've got like blood graphics that look like they were done in After Effects. And also you have a man who controls lightning and a man who shoots a spear from his hand and a four-armed troll doll and a guy that shoots a laser from his eye. Like, it's not a serious thing. You got to just go all over the top or there's a tone mismatch. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what we're getting here is we have Lou Reed who would, I think all of this context, most of this record would fit really well with a band that's more suited for like ethereal, orchestral, just more a band that's more arrangey. And Metallica is more of just kind of my side of things where it's like hack rock. They play what sounds good and it just happens to fall within, like they happen to do time signature changes and they happen to have key signature changes, but it's not like they are scholars of music theory. They're just instinctively, they played a lot of covers and they learned to play through that. And I think that this would have been better suited for someone who has more of a structural knowledge of what music can do rather than a couple of, just power chords.
Yeah, it needs, I think that, like, I don't want to say that, like, this would have been better with, like, Dream Theater, for example.
Sure.
Because I still don't think that that's the right, I still don't think that's the right tone.
Yeah.
James LaBrie probably has a much more, he's got much more range than our dear James here. But it's like that. I understand what you're trying to say is that I think this would have been better with a band that's much more left of center. Mm-hmm. Because I think that in the grand scheme of rock and roll and, even just music history in general, Metallica now is not very left of center. Mm-hmm. They're pretty center.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. Mm-hmm. I think that, again, like Metallica does a lot of stuff right. Mm-hmm. This album is not one of those things, but that's okay. This should have been, I think this should have been like again, I'm like dancing around like who I think would be the perfect fit for Lou here. Mm-hmm. Like Zappa would have been cool. Obviously he's dead, but it's like that same kind of thing where it's just like really off in the right ways. Mm-hmm. Whereas here it's off in the wrong ways.
It's either you want the vocal work to match the riffing and to be really kind of aggressive and in your face and like catchy. Mm-hmm. Something you can sing at a stadium, mm-hmm. or you want the instrumental parts to be more ethereal, esoteric, and like Bryce said, like very arranged, right? Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Or you could even go the other way with it. I think is that if you had a band like maybe even like Fish, like a jam band, and then if you take somebody that's really into like that improvisational kind of take to it, I think that would have made I think that would have been really effective as well. Because then you can have Lou Reed, like stumbling over his words, pretending to be drunk. And then like the band can react to that and they're comfortable reacting with that.
Yeah.
I think that would have been really effective too.
I'd
Because then you don't have like, I think that would eliminate this idea or like this thing that's happening where we just feel like we're getting snippets of riffs from a song that could have been.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, okay, this is all improvised and this is all reaction and this is all give and take. And I think that would have been better.
So take your fish idea, but also instead of Lou Reed, it's just Dave Matthews. Imagine, because he's a nasty man. He's a nasty man.
Hey, I am the table. I am the tablet.
See, it doesn't feel out of place, does it?
I beseech you, Jack. Okay, yeah, wow.
Oh, Jack, I beseech you to take off the dress.
It's
like it could work in a really. It'd be a little more campy, creepy than gory, creepy. But
great.
All right,
let's go on.
We got three. We got 3 to go. We got Little Dog, which is 8 minutes long. Dragon, I believe, is 11, if I remember correctly, and then Junior Dad, which is our magnum opus.
I was literally gonna say magnum opus as well.
20 minutes, swan song, maybe. I don't know.
Wow.
Let's get into it here.
Here we go. Little Dog. So you let this poor dog in from the rain. He just walks right back out again. Ooh.
Oh, that is a baritone guitar.
That's got some nice twang to it. Ooh. That's a low sucker. Ooh, you brought us treats.
Share, please.
Ooh.
Bree just went to the grocery store.
Hot stuff. The treat is what I meant to, like, yeah.
Little dog who can't get in. Moaning at the bedside, moaning from each limb.
It's a little feedback loop. Nice.
Little dog who can't get in. Can only cry, but
Ooh. I'm a sucker for feedback that changes notes and fits.
We've also just entirely departed Metallica, I think.
Is that weird that that's when the album is at its highlight? the non-Metallica
No, it's not,
parts?
because the rest of the album is weird. So I think that makes sense.
the bigger dog has got his spot. And elbowed him away.
Do dogs have elbows?
Of course.
They're not knees?
Listen to him barking.
I do like to conceptualize dogs as having arms and legs instead of legs.
Sure. They got 2 legs and 2 arms because
It's in the usage.
yeah.
Exactly.
Oh. Uh-oh.
And we already know that Lou Reed does not have the understanding of anatomy that we thought.
Correct. This is canon.
It is canon, of course.
Sorry, we were just talking over the line, a puny body and a tiny dick, and I don't know if you guys want to share your thoughts on that.
I don't.
We can move on.
I think that line can make you sick.
Nice.
as long as you can raise that little doggy face to a cold-hearted pussy.
It just stands out so much. It just like we have this soft, simple song, and then they throw in a word like that, and it's like, wait, okay, what?
Taste of what the big dog got.
It's needlessly
Little dog
graphic.
with a $100 spot can run his tongue over the hot and trot. Hot and trot.
Hot and trot.
Run his tongue
Again.
over the hot and trot.
We've got ourselves a regular Dr. Seuss.
All money can do anything. Money can do anything.
I would also just like to
me
note
what you
for the general public that I've lost the narrative here.
My small dog,
Don't know where.
It's
like
he won't what
kind of follow the first couple of songs
yeah.
as we get into disc 2.
Well, I like what's happening here in most of these lyrics. It's a very, we got like a little bit of a, I guess bullying situation. AJ in the comments says bullying, but like getting bullied. But like that comparison between the big dog and the little dog, and always like being elbowed away, and sort of, this person is super far down, and feeling pathetic on themselves. I don't know. There's something to this. It's just, and actually, yeah, like I said before, this like ethereal feel is really working. And I wish that this would be how the rest of the record was.
I think that if this was like tightened up, like if it was done now, like if the whole idea was presented in 5 minutes or less, I think it could have been. I think this could have been effective.
Well, even so,
Not
like
there's nothing here.
is this record classified? I thought I read somewhere that it was classified as spoken word.
Yes, I have seen that as well.
dog.
Because if you're calling it spoken word, I don't mind a 20-minute if you've got some good, a 20-minute build with ethereal backing like this that has some substantial context behind the words. But all of the heavy riffs and off-key singing is really pulling it away from spoken word. And I think that that's causing a lot of the confusion in the listeners, because we're expecting a Metallica record and we're getting not that.
But it needs my money.
Right, like it almost sounds like there's too much of one. There's like too much Metallica in it.
Yeah. I'd love to see the comment section give us their suggestions of other bands that Lou Reed should have collaborated with.
Yes, I need to see that.
I am an up while you're a down.
I'm an up while you're a down.
The spring and the will follow me around.
Is that like I'm a top, you're a bottom?
Oh.
Sniff your shit,
I'm a table, you're a floor.
sniff your shit in the wind. All
And I
money
can't
do
say anymore.
Ah, there we go. Dr. Seuss is back.
Tell me what it is you want. Just tell me what it is you want.
Just tell me what you want. What you really, really want.
Down. The spring and the will follow me around. Tell me what it is you want. Tell me what it is you want. Sniff your shit in the wind. Follow me around. Pathetic little dog. Pathetic little dog.
Well, there's a little bass fill there. That was kind of.
Pathetic little dog.
Gotta have it.
Lou Reed and Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought of that. I was like, what is it that this is not doing? Because, like, if you think of Johnny Cash's later stuff, like the American recordings with the Rick Rubin, isn't it? Wasn't that the producer that worked with him in the American recordings?
I don't know.
Like the last albums.
Is that with Hurt?
was the last albums that Johnny Cash recorded. He was old. It was when he did, Hurt, like the 9 Inch Nails cover. He did Soundgarden. He did Depeche Mode. Like, he's got the same vocal style.
Yeah.
But it's just him and an acoustic guitar, and then like it's really sparse.
Yeah.
And that's just really effective. You know, like, again, I started kind of flipping through some of the old comments, and it's like, that's old man ranting, but with a really good, effective background that makes it sound like compelling.
I want to see a We Are the World version where we get like all the top pop artists and just smash them into a studio together. Pathetic little dog.
Imagine Dragons.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah.
He's got the repetition of an Imagine Dragons song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that meme with the multiple pencils to write their lyrics?
I like it.
Thunder, hear the thunder, and then repeat indefinitely.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Next.
Let's get on to Dragon here.
Yeah, I don't have much else. I don't have much to say about that one.
That's okay sometimes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm hearing the Beavis and Butthead intro.
Damn it, we should have done the whole review like Beavis and Butthead.
Let's go back and do it again.
All right.
You don't actually care.
Right here, live, we're going to just continue through. This will be like a
You don't actually
14-hour...
care. Love for you is no beginning. You're not
Terrible
really
cornhole,
there.
Lou, I'm sorry. I would like to issue a public apology.
A redaction.
Yeah.
I thought you were listening.
I wasn't listening. I'm sorry.
No.
I thought you were listening. Hallucination.
Is that meant to be like I was hallucinating that you were listening? Or is that just a separate...
The adolescent sense of the sky. The feeling of billowing heartbeats. The fingertips run through your hair.
Yeah. I'm sticking with Tool.
Oh, I remember thinking this when I first heard this song. It's like, who was like, it's like here, right? He's like, he's like right here. This is the center, like a hallucination. And then all of a sudden, like, guitar comes in one full step above in like A minor. If Lou's in G, like James and Kirk are in A. And I was like, what? What is this? That doesn't sound good. It's not jarring in a good way. It just sounds.
It just sounds unrehearsed.
You come
Yeah.
and go like the goddess you
Coming
are.
back to that again.
We're mere mortals below. Fingertips run through your
He also has
hair.
that like old man in the church choir vibrato. You know what I'm saying?
I have been editing a lot of choir music videos, and I know very much so what you are talking about.
It's so funny. I love it. I genuinely love it. Yeah.
Are meant to be servants.
That's
Are meant
funny.
to be dismissible objects.
Dismissible
One
objects.
fucks with. One fucks with.
Oh,
Poor pitiful creature.
okay. I like this. Ooh. Little Orion feel there almost.
The winner in heartbreak.
Yeah.
The winner in caring. The winner in every minuscule method of wearing.
I like that left channel guitar. That's really
A
nice.
red star of idiocy. An idiot's idiocy. Ah, my,
Idiot's
caring for you,
idiocy.
caring for you. You think we're a book, some kind of a table you can on your
Confirmed.
Star of idiocy and it
Bringing it all back home.
my caring for you.
So is he resting his feet on James Hetfield?
Well, it depends on what James Hetfield currently is. Because he's
What
not
he
always.
is or is not at any given point. Schrodinger's table.
Schrodinger's Hetfield. Table, root, tablet. No one knows.
He is
No,
all.
it's
He is all.
all
He's
and
everything.
none.
Taste of your vulva and everything on it. We all really love you. And you have
more
no
that
meaning.
graphic body
You
description.
don't even see us. You were never caring. You go do what you do. You do it for you. No one exists with you. You're way above caring. Leave a trail upon the wake that no one ever tries to take because waiting for you, thinking of you, is another way of dying. Is another way of dying.
Honestly, I feel like the lyrical content here is just a little more solid. I feel like this just has more ground.
Yeah.
I agree.
This guitar solo makes me feel like I have been shrunken down in Mario Kart.
Also,
I will not be taking questions at this
also
time.
Rage Against the Machine.
Yes. Yes. Tom Morello, right?
Yeah.
Just beating up the guitar instead of playing it.
They didn't actually mean to record this. Kirk was just warming up.
That was a technical exercise. That's
Yeah.
orchestral tuning, Metallica style.
There you go.
A left-hand warm-up.
Way above caring in your Kotex jukebox.
Kotex
The
Jukebox.
Kotex jukebox. I'm doomed.
That is a brand of feminine hygiene products, right?
I'm pretty
not-
sure it is.
Okay.
Squeaking, latex now sweating, waiting for you and your tincture. Your opium white bathrobe, your white tiles run red now. Are we both dead now?
I don't know, but my ears are.
Change of our heart.
I've dissociated from reality. I it's real.
Both dead now.
Well, I'm in another dimension.
Beastie Boys? Another dimension, another dimension. Well, don't you tell me I'm a dog!
You're way above caring. Your heart on your sleeve. A red star of idiocy. An idiot's idiocy. My
Idiocy.
caring for you. My caring for you. You're way beyond caring. Your heart on your sleeve. A red star of idiocy.
What is the red star?
An idiot's idiocy.
Not David Bowie's Black Star, that's for damn.
Oblivious to caring. Oblivious to caring. Oblivious to caring. Leave a trail upon the wake that no one ever tries to take. Because waiting for you. Because thinking of you is another way of dying. You're way above caring. Oblivious to caring. Oblivious to caring. You poor pitiful creature, the mistake of feeling. The one who rejects you is the winner, it's true. The winner in heartbreak, the winner in caring. The winner in every minuscule method of wearing. Your heart on your sleeve, a red star of idiocy, an idiot's idiocy. Your heart on your fucking sleeve, my caring for you. We were meant to be peons. We're meant to be peons, mere mortals below. Meant to be servants. Meant to be dismissible objects once fucked with. Oh, you're so special. No
Was
more
Dismissible
than you.
Objects, wasn't that the last song?
Like a goddess
Or was
you
that this
are.
song? I already forgot.
The fingertips run through your hair. A billing heartbeat. Feeling, oh, what a glorious feeling to be so rejected. So rejected. citizen might care for you.
The double kick.
A book or a table you can rest your fucking feet on when you're able. The taste of
That's
your
thrash
blood,
metal, baby.
everything on it. The hair on your shoulders. The smell of your armpit. We do love you to look upon your perfect
Puff these
body.
pits,
We
baby.
love you regal, we love you haughty, oblivious to caring. Oblivious to caring.
Wow.
Caring.
Oh my dear.
Oh my dear. Oh my dear. Oh my dear. Oblivious to caring. Are we really dead now?
Sure feels like it.
Are we both dead now?
Passed away.
Kirk, buddy,
Pick a key.
pick a note.
Pro tip: have your solo and the song be in the same key.
It's ideal.
You know,
It's
I don't
ideal.
really, you know, I think that there are times when you cannot follow that advice,
Oh, for sure.
and
Yeah.
it's really effective. You can play out, go for it, but like, don't make it sound like you don't know what you're doing.
Don't
There's
sound
a-
like a middle schooler
Yeah,
who's never played.
I think there's a. I think it was
unless you're a middle schooler, you can't sound like that.
right. I think it was Hate Train. I don't know Beyond Magnetic that well, but one of the songs in there has another solo first, and then the second solo has like a and it like falls apart, and it's really nice because we've already heard a demonstration that they know what they're doing, and so the fall apart doesn't feel. It feels intentional rather than mistake.
Right.
Retardando.
Oh, a little wash at the end. Little final wash at the end. You can't just fade out. You gotta have an end hit. That's what they're.
I'd like to picture that everyone was in the studio, and maybe they, for this scenario, for this song, they were doing it live. Everyone was recording, you know, it was a live take, and it's like Lars is sitting there hitting the hi-hat, which he has found, and it's like looking around at everyone like, okay, I'm gonna get slower.
No,
He's just like,
no.
looking for information, and he's like, give me something. He's like looking at Lou, like pleading in his eyes, like,
Should
yeah,
I stop?
yeah. And then it's just like, and Lou's just like off, like
He's turned into
somewhere
a table.
else, not paying attention, and Lars is like, shit, I have to make a decision.
It's
That's it.
it's that thing. Speaking of the church choir singer people, there's also a church choir thing where when they give them auxiliary percussion, they have to end the song with that hit. There's always like that da, and then there's always one person click like hits the like. You don't have to do that. You can just fade it out and let it be.
Yeah. Don't have to end with the vibra slap. It's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So actually, the Red Star of Hate, kind of, I think I mentioned briefly, like well, it sure ain't David Bowie's Black Star, and that made me think of like a record that's in a similar vein that was just executed supremely better. You know, like David Bowie had like the whole thing is like his own freaking epitaph, right? Like he died like not very long after that record came out, and he knew it. Like he knew that was going to happen, and a lot of the content and the themes on the record is really dark and really ominous. And I think that it was just executed much better because of the musicians he chose to back him up with. And part of it was Maria Schneider's orchestrations. And Maria Schneider, for those that are not in the jazz vein, is like, she's up there. Not only just like in like the realm of like women in jazz, but just in jazz in general. Oh my gosh, is she like, does she know what she's doing, and does she kick ass? But like her orchestrations and like this like this feeling of like it's all about to let go, and it's like all about to break and descend into chaos, but it just holds together long enough. Like that was what I think really made that record effective and really like sold the point. That's not happening here.
Yep.
Because I think there's like that. I actually looked, and there is an opera that was written based on these same plays by Alban Berg. Yeah. And sorry, we're showing my music school
Your music
showing right
school
now.
showing.
I'm sorry. Alban Berg was not a tonal composer. So if you think of like Schoenberg and like these like atonal 12 tone rows where the idea of tonal harmony of like the 1 and the 5 is completely emancipated, and you have just you're thinking of music in a completely mathematical way. It's like, okay, I have 12 pitches before these repeat at the next octave. What's an order they can go in? And then you stick to that order, and then you can think about permutations of that order. Well, what if I played it backwards? What if I invert it? What if I do it that same order but a half step up or whatever?
Retrograde inversion.
There you go. Thank you. Retrograde inversion, all that kind of crap. That's what Berg was like. That was his school of thought. Is that the second Viennese school? Somebody
It
correct
is,
me.
yeah.
Comment, yeah. Commenters, tell me if that's the second Viennese school, please.
I think you're giving my viewers a little bit. I don't know. I think 99% of them are Metallica fans who like watching Metallica reactions, and all of the classical music is going whoo. But I hope there's someone out there that can answer this question. But it's going over my head for sure.
I'm just like delegating the task of Googling to somebody else. Let's make this an interactive experience.
Okay,
We are
all right.
Googled for us.
Commenters, watchers.
You guys remember
Google it.
Let Me Google That for you?
Yes.
You remember that website?
Yes. Still
Somebody send me that website now, please. Put that in the chat. Second Viennese school. Let me Google that for you.
Great.
I'm now very interested in hearing how Alban Berg interpreted this, because it's probably better and more interesting, and still like out there.
Well, then it's like,
But
I think
in a
the
way
plot
that's
is
probably
more
a little-
obvious,
Yeah.
because it's an opera.
Right.
Fun.
Yeah.
Just fun.
So okay.
So we got
Well,
20 minutes left now.
All right. Yeah, we're in the home stretch. We're almost home free.
Let's do this thing. Let's give it a whirl.
Okay, orchestra warm up again. Gregorian chant. Oh.
Hero of the day.
Yeah. Reload, baby.
Oh, a meter
Phrase
change.
extensions.
Nine.
9. Are you counting it 1, 2, 3 like that?
Yeah, I'm like we're.
Not 1, 2.
So that would
3,
those would have
2,
been those
3.
two snare hits would be eighth notes.
Okay.
Like 9 and. I mean, unless they're counting to 18. it would be that too.
3 and
1.
2 and 3.
I'm not gonna count. I don't know
4.
if my voice is matching up with the audio and the live stream here.
8 and 9. This is beautiful. I'm getting a little bit of Blink in there too.
Yeah.
There was a little turn in there that had that sort of take off your pants and jackets vibe.
1.
Is it unfair to ask you
5.
to help me up?
Oh no, we're still at the 5.
So I'm looking at the musician credits, and the bass on this track is played by Rob Wasserman, who is playing a stand-up electric bass.
Interesting.
Not just an upright bass, but one of those fancy electric ones.
I've heard that name before.
Yeah, it sounds familiar. So, okay, the question here is it 9/4 or is it 4/4 5/4 alternating meter?
I always like to conceive of it in the simplest meter, and then like you add a measure, you add a beat. That's how I like to think of it.
Like it's 2 measures of 4/4 with a 1 or a 2/8 or whatever.
It works either way.
I always feel like that's so much work to write out all the changes if you're like putting it on paper. And I always like to just imagine that it's just 1 9/4 so that you don't have to keep writing in the changes and programming the changes.
Here's the deal, though, is I bet we're probably the first people to like question this or wonder. They're like, hey, what if we put 2 extra hits here at the end of the phrase? Yeah, let's do it. Great. Play it.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure that they did not type punch this into finale before they walked into the studio. Their engraver was not asking, now do you want this in 18/8, 9/4, or alternating mixed?
Now would you kiss me?
I have no idea. Okay, we're here. I've not been paying attention to the lyrics.
Okay.
I will say, from personal experience, I do like to write in those extra. Like I get really interested in those time signature changes, and like I'm really excited about what. Oh, what about one more? Not just to add an extra beat, but to be able to like write it out in a unique, like music theory nerds will like this one.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you could make a case for this being mixed meter, and that case being is that we feel like we have come to a completed phrase, and then they extend it. And I think that would be my case for this is mixed meter. Otherwise, I feel like it would be like the feel of it or the placement of the rhythms would be.
What is Lars playing on right now? Is it just a light cymbal tap, or was it?
The brain that once was listening now.
It's gone. I thought he had a ride cymbal there for a
out
moment.
its tiresome message.
I'm not rewinding it.
So the string arranger and one of the violin players, her name is Jenny Scheinman, and she's like a big jazz violinist, and has done other stuff with Lou Reed. But her playing is frequently used as a sound bed for NPR programming. We got that NPR crossover.
Father has the motor and he's driving.
This is
towards an
appealing to
island of
all
lost
all demographics.
Yeah.
You got your Lou Reed fans, your Metallica fans,
Sunny.
NPR listeners. Just covered.
A monkey went to monkey. I will teach you meanness, fear, and blindness. No social redeeming kindness or state of grace.
There's a little proximity effect on the mic there. Oh, state of grace.
What are we at time-wise for the song?
6 minutes 20.
Left or two or so far? So far?
I think it's so far.
Would you pull me up? Would you drop the mental bullet?
Mental.
Would you pull me by the arm up? Would you still kiss my lips? Hiccup, the dream is over. Get the coffee. Turn the lights on. Say hello to Junior Dad. The greatest disappointment. Age withered him and changed him into Junior Dad. Psychic savagery.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting Blink-182 vibes right now with that guitar lick.
Greatest
Yeah.
disappointment. Age withered him and changed him into Junior Dad.
Okay, that's definitely James there. Okay. I like how every song on this record is like a 2-chord progression, 3-chord progression, just looped indefinitely.
Yeah, a lot of
Okay.
1/4.
I don't mind the minimalism, but it's still not very interesting.
Is this 145?
Yeah. 1, 4.
What is that that return from 5 to 1? That's perfect, or is it plagal, or what's
Perfect, yes.
perfect? These are the type of lyrics we would get if Nickelback wrote lyrics for Blink-182. That's funny. Oh,
I can't.
AJ is saying the instrumental reminds me of a couple Malaysian songs right now. I would like to know what those Malaysian songs are.
Yeah, hit us with some recs. I need more things to listen to all the time. Yeah.
This is, I'm digging the groove of this one. Oh. Is it a ride? No, it's a hi-hat. Breaking that meter a little bit on the drums. Is it just kick and snare? I can't hear I can hear the cymbal accents, but and it's gone again. Dang it.
Yeah, I think that was.
There's still quite a bit left, isn't there?
7 minutes.
Oh, great.
Sorry, 8 minutes.
We have an entire Saint Anger. We have a Master of Puppets left in the song.
And no twin solo, I would hazard a guess.
I would be surprised.
What a way to finish a record, though. Like, all of a sudden, hey, actually there is some Metallica in here somewhere.
Yeah.
We've been building to this moment for 80 minutes.
For 80 minutes, and then Kirk Hammett busts out the wah pedal.
I'm pretty sure the next 7 minutes, 12 plus 7 is 19. The next 7 minutes, I think, are just strings.
Just drones.
Yeah.
Is it just drones, or are they going to play stuff?
I would guess it's going to be atmospheric here.
I think it's going to be this same texture.
Oh boy.
Oh, we've got
Some nice voicings though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got some pieces that like fit melodically against each other.
I think. Alec, remind me of the string arranger's name again.
Jenny Scheinman.
Jenny Scheinman, I think, is the unsung hero of this record. And
Hey,
I
so
mean
dude,
that,
these are great.
like, I think that they have built in. This is a built-in palette cleanser.
Yeah.
Like, here's some. We're gonna take you back down now.
Right.
I remind you of like the very basics. Just nice string quartet harmonies here.
Yeah.
Chamber music. Real
Here's a
take it easy.
saltine cracker
Yeah. Just breathe in.
for your ears.
Hold your breath for 4 counts.
Nice.
Let it out through your nose.
A little guided meditation.
Yeah.
This could
Crunchy.
easily be like the inner movement of like a contemporary string orchestra piece that
Oh, yeah.
SPCO would play or something.
The Lost Glassworks movement or something.
Yeah.
This-
Philip Glass.
There's definitely like a in the play version of this, there's definitely some sort of a somber solo dance piece going on, right?
Yeah.
There's some eeriness there in that low end.
We've resolved back to the 1. Suspension.
I really do like that perfect, that 5-1 feeling with it's just
Yeah.
so smooth.
She's still following the same chord pattern. Like, it's still 1-4-5.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's lots of suspensions and extensions.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, because like the theory behind it too is when you have the 5 chord. So I think we're in C right now. You have your G7
in C
chord
by Terry Riley.
Yeah, there you go. There's another one. You have that G major chord or that G dominant chord. So G, B, D, and then F natural. You got that nice dominant sound. That just resolves really nice. That F natural resolves a half step down to that E in the major chord C, E, G. That's what really gives it that nice pull. So that's why the perfect cadence, or no, authentic cadence. That's what it is.
Perfect authentic.
Perfect authentic.
Perfect authentic. Is there another version of a perfect something else? Perfect inauthentic?
A perfect authentic cadence is a specific voicing where like a bunch of rules have to be followed. Like certain notes and certain voicings of the chord have to move like either up or down to the next note in order for it to be a perfect authentic cadence.
I see.
Otherwise, it's just going from G to C is just an authentic cadence, I believe.
Oh, okay. I see. It's something to do if we're putting it on a keyboard and you're mapping the 3rd and the 5th closer to the 1, 3rd, and 5, right?
Yes.
Something where the inversions are matching, so they're barely moving.
Yes.
Gotcha. I have the stream window off to the side here a little bit, and I can see myself explaining, and I'm like trying to play the keyboard as I'm talking about, here's how the keyboard works. You can see the keyboard, right? La, la, la. It's really beautiful, but it's really too long, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe it didn't need to be 8 minutes long.
Alec, you got the chords all figured out over there?
And again, I think this could have been like this would have been really cool if you had like a band or even just like somebody that was really comfortable just noodling over this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like that could have added another element. And then you could have taken that away at the end as it kind of strips down.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you could have gotten away with this being 8 minutes long and kept the engagement up.
What gets me is that when you're at the level of Lou Reed and Metallica, you've got staff, right? And at least Metallica has staff. They have an HQ. They do their recordings, and there's an engineer. Maybe there's not always a producer, but there's definitely people helping with the engineering, and it's usually going to be more than just one person. And then there are PR people, there's the whole marketing team of folks. There's the websites. There's so many hands listened to this well before it was released and went, yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Oh, is that it?
We made it through.
We made it.
Oh,
Ooh.
I guess we're going to start listening to some Neil Young and Crazy Horse here. Pause that.
Wow.
I don't know why that was on my autoplay, but okay.
I will say that right off the bat, well, actually, yeah, initial thoughts of the record / song from you two.
There is potential in this to have been a pretty, I think, awesome collaboration. Like that, and there's evidence of it almost happening multiple times throughout the record.
Yeah.
I think that there are glimpses and full minutes worth of genius being executed. But I think that it's a victim of poor editing or just poor execution in multiple spots that I think were the true downfall of this record.
Yeah.
And they probably shouldn't have picked The View as the single.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I agree. It could have been super cool. It just there are so many points where it just feels like there's a lack of intention, or like it sounds unrehearsed, or it sounds like, like we were saying multiple times, they weren't in the same room together. Mm-hmm. It's like they were doing two slightly different projects at the same time and then just put them together. And but then you contrast that with some of those really cool moments, even the stuff that was like kind of like still very in like Metallica's sphere and still very in Lou Reed's sphere, the stuff that was a little more esoteric, or the tunes that just grooved a little harder was really nice. But then my favorite parts was when it didn't sound like Metallica.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think that's I would fully agree with that the strongest parts was when like Lou Reed was fully in control of what was happening, or like it was very obvious that he had, the lion's share of the artistic direction on a certain piece. Like the last one, for example, like Junior Dad, for example. Okay, 20 minutes is a little much, but like I think that Metallica found a way to blend kind of like that Hero of the Day sound, like their clean sound, into what Lou Reed was looking for, and that translated really well. or, most of Pumping Blood translated really well, because Metallica was able to kind of like take a backseat of what their normal sound, is or was at the time, and kind of let Lou Reed be the producer, more so. And so I think those were the more effective parts.
For sure. I think the first thought that I have is that I think this goes for people who've been following this channel for the Metallica content. We've talked a lot about emotional response as only being 1/5 of the scoring that I had done. And that a lot of people have a tendency to say, I like it, I don't like it, but we don't really take a whole lot of time to ask why. And that was kind of my whole goal of this entire journey, is to really question, what is it that makes each Metallica song wonderful versus what things aren't working? And I know that when I first listened to this record and when I second listened to this record, both times I was just so confused and so just like, I don't think I understood what I was getting into, and I don't think I got what I was expecting. And I felt very off-put by it. And so I just wrote it off as emotional response 0 and just never have gone back to it. But now listening analytically, trying to find the good in it and trying to see what are the things that are working, why does this thing exist, what is its purpose, really questioning all of it. I think that I maybe it isn't a masterpiece, but it isn't nearly as bad as I had written it off to be before. There are definitely some moments that are really cringy, but there is some pretty decent things going on in here. As an overall piece, it's still the worst thing Metallica's put out, but I appreciate it a little bit more now that I've taken the time to really focus in on it. And even though I didn't follow the lyrics that closely, and I still have no idea what it's about beyond a table and someone who doing some real dirty things, it musically is a little bit more interesting. I don't see myself coming back to much of this, but right off the bat, I know that I want an instrumental of Cheat on Me, because it had a really cool groove. And Iced Honey for me is, I think that's going to be my top. It felt the most accessible and it felt the most rhythmically pleasing. I don't remember the content of the words that much, but if you told me I had to cover a song from Lulu right now, that's the one I would choose. Just from the sheer perspective of it feels the most accessible of the record.
It follows the most pop sensibilities.
Yes.
And even as even as a rock and roll song or as a metal song, I think that it's worth talking about pop sensibilities, because that's what draws in listeners, that that accessibility. Something that I think, this is what helped me kind of really see Saint Anger in a new light. And I think it's what helped me get through this record in one sitting, is, thinking about, yes, this is by far and away the last album ranked, with the worst score of what Metallica has put out. That's still a pretty high bar. Even Load and Reload, that was an innovation for them. That was an evolution of their sound. And I didn't watch every single video that you did of all of the reviews from the Metallica 90s output, but they still brought something to the table. They still brought something to the table, and I think that just thinking about, well, what if this was done by Lou Reed and fill in the blank? What would what would the response have been? What if it was Lou Reed and the Maria Schneider Orchestra, for example, or what if it was Lou Reed and whatever? Would this have been as panned, everything else being equal? Is it because it's Metallica? Is there something that like because of the name that's on the front of the record, is that gives you like this prejudice almost of like you have a very clear expectation going into it of what you're getting into, even if you've never heard of anything, of any other things before it or anything else after it. You just know, okay, Metallica, I know what I'm getting into, but you don't, because it's so vastly different and not of the same caliber, I think, as their other work. So I wonder if that has something to do with how it was received as well. Speaking of,
going back to our movie tone problems conversation, I'm going to tie this back in. I recently watched I think it was almost a 3 hour, it was like a 2.5 hour video on why The Last Airbender is such an atrocious film, and like it digs down into like the script and everything. And one of the things they talk about is like when it starts with a title scroll and narration, and a lot of times you can almost sense that maybe wasn't the initial idea, and that audiences didn't understand what was happening. So they usually put a title scroll in to fill you in on the stuff that you're not going to understand later. But usually it's stuff that isn't then re-explained in the movie. So with The Last Airbender, they're like, there's an avatar and his name is Ong. And then later they're like, what's your name? And he's like, I'm Ong. And it's like, we already heard you just told us and then retold us. So that didn't match what this record almost needs is an intro track that says, hey, heads up, not a Metallica record, not a Lou Reed record. This is like a whole play, and just listen to it with a different mind. Okay, here's track 1.
Yeah, they need a disclaimer on the front. There's the parental advisory, and then there's the not quite what you expect advisory.
Yeah.
Oh God,
left field.
I think the first time I listened to this just like unlocked a memory for me, because I was thinking about like, could we have put that in the liner notes somewhere? I think the first time I listened to this album, I probably rented it from the library. Like the Anoka County library system probably has a 2 CD copy of Lulu somewhere in its system, and I think I have rented it out. And I'm like trying to think, like, was there something in the liner notes that could have like helped here? And it was just a bunch of pictures of that same like dismembered mannequin, like laying on the floor or like fractured and shattered and stuff. I'm like, okay, this is art, whatever. Yeah. I think we're right. We do need some sort of context here. And I'm frustrated that didn't come through more in the lyrics.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to be lyrically dense. Yeah. Which this is. No two ways about it. But I think that had there been more thought put into maybe furthering the plot of the play, or like, I don't know how close to the source material this is, but like, had there been like maybe more of a sense of, okay, now this is from this character's perspective, if it is, or maybe now this is happening, or this is after this, after she sleeps with this person, or after she shoots a gun at this guy. I think that might have been more effective as well. And I'm thinking of like other, prog rock operas like Tommy or The Wall, and how that happens. They're still lyrically dense. Like, there's not like a very clear, obvious plot, but like there's these interstitial sections where it's like there's a lot of, like message machine beeps, or like, things are implied much better or more effectively in those albums that kind of help to pull you along the whole way. That almost started at the beginning. It's like, okay, small town girl, I can latch on to that. Yeah. I know where that is a trope. There's an archetype. And then we lose it because we turned into a table. So I think that's another issue I have with it. Why it's not as effective.
It's devoid of context of any kind.
Wow. Just wow. Well, I don't know. It feels like this is a pretty good stopping point, at least for the live stream. But I did want to thank both of you for coming and doing this with me, and torturing your ears for a while. Hopefully that finale was a palate cleanser, but maybe some other music in the works for the rest of the day. Do you? I mean, you're not just Midnight Notion people. You have so many other projects. Anything you want to promote or talk about or share with the Midnight Notion family, the Dreamers?
Go check out Brass and Body Works.
Yeah,
like the store, but with trumpets. We're not super active right now, obviously, but we've got some cool YouTube stuff, and we have an album on Spotify. Me and Zach play with them. I play sousaphone in that group, and Zach plays saxophone.
Yeah. So if you're following along and you remember that Hip to Be Square cover, I think that probably that fills in a lot of the questions that some of the fans may have had.
Yeah.
I want to also just make a quick plug too. We've been starting to get this off the ground more. It's the Minneapolis area remote sessions, the Mars Ensemble. And it's kind of a mouthful, but if you put that all onto YouTube, you find some short projects and some collaborations that Alec and I have also done. Some of them probably a little more on the funk or the pop side of things, but we're not afraid of guitars either. So
super catchy stuff too.
So check that stuff out too. That's kind of what we've been stewing on, and it was fun being here. Actually, I kind of enjoyed parsing through the album and again answering that question. Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Agreed.
Who is the table? I'll do you one better. Why is the table?
Why is the table?
So Mars, all capital letters because it's an acronym, on YouTube, and Brass and Body Works. And then also Sam, who plays drums when Midnight Notion plays live, is not with us today, but he is with a band called Crushed Into Place. So those of you interested in Sam's works, that is where you can find some more of his things. And of course, more reviews coming to this channel eventually. I still got to make my Metallica awards ceremony to dissect all of the stats that I came up with. I have everything ranked, and so we'll discuss which songs were the best openers, which were the best closers, which were the best instrumentals, etc. But that
I
is
want to see that PowerPoint or that Excel spreadsheet.
It's a spreadsheet for sure. I feel like there's something else. Oh, to this side of the stream, this whole time there have been some symbols: Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Find Midnight Notion on all of those things. Make sure you hit the follow, subscribe, all of the things. And the biggest thing, share it with your friends. And if you've got some PayPal, there's that little tip jar there that gets spread amongst the band members when it comes in, and maybe can pay for our medical hearing bills to solve whatever we just went through.
And
I need to see an audiologist.
But that is the stream. Thank you so much. We've had the viewers coming and going throughout. I appreciate all the chats, and I'll see you all on the next stream. So long. Yay. Bye.
Take care, my friends.
End.